And we are not fighting for justice, for just ourselves. We fight for justice even for people who torment us. We have been fighting for justice for our people in uniform. Our soldiers in uniform must live with dignity, because they are our sons, they are our daughters, and the role of service in the military, in the police, in other security organizations is a noble job. They are being abused, but it's a noble job, and they must serve with dignity. The other day I saw General Tumwine embarrassing another general in public. You are stealing land. Who is not stealing land? The one pointing is also has 4 pointing at him for stealing the same land. Our men in uniform must be respected. They must earn a living wage. You find generals have so much, a few, the generals you know. When ordinary soldiers cannot as much as have a meal on their table for their children, we fight for them. We fight for these policemen who live in toilets, who have no welfare. We fought for them until the one who was causing us problems, we defeated him, Kayihura. Now he is also seeking our struggle for his justice, and we shall fight for him so that he can get justice. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot to celebrate. Unfortunately, time is not on my side to talk about all the things we can celebrate, especially when we all have not had lunch. But let me say that even in what is supposed to be our ordinary responsibility as a party, to contest for power and to win leadership positions so that our fair policies can take charge, even in that role, under the terrible dictatorship, the junta, we have not been found wanting. We have not been found wanting. That's why, in spite of all this, we have one and being recognized, because there are two things. Many of our wins are never recognized. But some, they still have to recognize. And that's why we have the LOM here with members of parliament in parliament, with the district chairpersons. I think there are some district chairpersons who are here, elected district chairpersons, with the district councils, with the mayors, with the, all the leadership strata that we have won during this struggle, when the main struggle is not about winning office, but winning freedom. It hasn't stopped us from winning office nonetheless. So let's celebrate. It's right. Because our haters, and you know who, they always want to create and use all the opportunity they have to bombard you with propaganda that you are the failure, that you cannot make it, that you won't achieve what you need to achieve. Tell them no. Against all these odds, we are here by our right, not by your permission. We have won by our right, not your permission. And we win. So we have pushed back against the abuse of rights. Some people, say, but what have you done? They forget that even the little that there is in this country, which the NRM pretends to do, they do so because of the pressure mounted by the FDC. Young people now are growing up with dignity. They are no longer tied on ropes because they have not paid graduated tax. A little while earlier, people were hiding before dawn. Hiding from people because you have not yet paid graduated tax. It did not go on its own. It went under the pressure, intense pressure mounted by our struggle. You remember they had abolished free health for Ugandans. Even now it's not free. But at least in principle you can walk to the health center and seek to be treated. They had introduced what they were calling co-sharing. Co-sharing of health. That you pay something, the government pays another. But what if you have nothing to pay? If you are even in coma, how do you co-pay? Health is a right. It is not something to be bought. Every Ugandan is entitled to free, quality health care. And we pushed back until they abandoned the co-sharing. They had abolished completely support by the public to students in the university. They said all students in the university should pay. We pushed back very strongly until that policy was not only abandoned, but actually the students supported by the government were doubled. They had been 2,000, they had to increase them to 4,000 under intense pressure. Now, of course, you have been hearing the struggle at the universities, raising the cost of education at the university. Shameful, because these are the same Mr. Museveni who would never have smelt a university if it had not been free. We are here. Museveni is there. There are some people, they call him a president. I'm here. There are some people, they call me a president. I'm here. I am not in hiding. And indeed, we have our government. You remember they took me to court that I committed treason. Let them bring the case of treason and hear it, and we defeat them on their own case. Why can't they bring their case of treason? Because they know they are the ones committing treason to stop the real president and to hijack his seat. They are the ones who are committing the real treason. Yes, we should celebrate indeed. Because even what we do is not just a matter for us in Uganda. I can tell you that the whole of Africa has taken note about what is happening here in Uganda. On your behalf, a few months back, I was awarded an African award for Hero of Democracy. It was not mine, it was your award. The world takes note, the world recognizes. We have been leading the African parties, democracy-seeking parties, called the Democratic Union of Africa, DUA. We were the leaders of DUA for 6 consecutive years. And holding the chair of DUA also elevated us to be automatically vice chair of the International Democrat Union. So your work is not a work to play around with. You have earned it. And that's why I must step back a little to really thank you and recognize all the effort in the very, very difficult circumstances that you have held out in this struggle. Thank you. We must celebrate that having opened the space and formed what is now FDC, FDC has indeed shown that it is possible, even under a dictatorship, under a military dictatorship, that it is possible to have a democratic political organization like FDC. We have been having contestations within FDC, open contestations, very tough competition within the party, moving across the country, campaigning internally as leaders of FDC, and eventually coming here to Nambole in broad daylight, in the presence of cameras, and having a clean democratic election that chooses our leaders. We have never, in the 15 years of our existence, had any petition to court that there was any problem with the election. Whoever is defeated congratulates the winner and goes home knowing that I have been defeated. So it is possible, we have demonstrated in 15 years that it is possible to have democratic political organization. And hence our name, Forum for Democratic Change. We are showing it in practice. In the 15 years, and again the Honorable Party President pointed it out, FDC has demonstrated its national reach from the last point of our border with Sudan to the last point of our border with Rwanda, from the last point of our border with Congo to Kenya. You will find FDC members and leaders all over the country. You will find our membership all over the country from all sectors of our society. All religious groups are represented, all tribes and groups and all kinds of divisions. They are all part and parcel of one Uganda, one people. We must celebrate that success of showing that we can be one in fairness, that we are equal. Every member of FDC is equal to another member. None are more equal than others. We have a Ugandan who knows what his right is, who knows that he has to make this his country, and that leaders must be his or her servants, not masters. Ugandans have woken up to the kind of stealing of their wealth that is going on. Ugandans are awake. I proved this in the last election, when for the very first time I went throughout the country, right from the time we were nominated here, I went throughout the country with the Ugandans giving us money, giving us chicken, giving us matoke, bogoya, what? And saying, I am in the struggle, take this, let us fight. That is a very different Ugandan from the one who used to say, we are praying for you. Carry on to fight for us. You fight for us. Don't give up. Now they know that they themselves have to fight. And they have stepped forward to fight. That is possibly the biggest achievement that this struggle has had. Young people, and we are a country of children and young people. Young people are now energized to fight. And I hope they will stand up and fight. That's why we told them it's not a privilege, it's not a request, it's a duty. You must stand up and fight for your country, for your rights. We expect young people to stand up and fight for their power. Nobody will give you the power on a silver plate. It won't happen. And we have told all those, including the dialogue seekers, that you dialogue with Museveni and he gives you power. He won't. You have to tell him that is my power. It's not negotiable. Get away. You find they are saying the problem are older people, young people against old people. How can that be the problem? Find they are saying it is the FDC against the people power. It's this one against the other one. Nonsense. It is only one struggle. The enemy is there, the oppressor. We must all face the oppressor and fight together to make sure that the oppressor goes out. We should never be diverted. We should never be diverted. And that is where the struggle is. That is the struggle the people's government is leading. The people's government is not a political party to sponsor candidates. If you want to be a candidate, don't come to the people's government. The people's government is a front to win back our power by struggle. And we shall struggle and win back our power. Whoever wants to join us in that struggle must come and we fight. That's the struggle. I have been hearing people say, Besigye has fought enough, let him go. I am not fighting for you, I'm also fighting for myself to be free. I will not go away, I will fight until this country is free. But make no mistake, I have never come to offer myself to fight to be a leader. No. My mission is not to fight to be a leader. My mission is to fight to be in a free country. So some people again want to confuse us as if the struggle today is a struggle for leadership. It's not. It's a struggle for what to lead. We don't have what to lead today. We must first get the country, then we can look for leaders for it. And it is that struggle in which I will not flinch. I will retire from that struggle when the struggle is over or when I am over. So ladies and gentlemen, let's be clear. Let's be clear, where does this struggle end? Because the struggle cannot go on. This is a struggle that also, like the Honorable Lord Mayor said, must have a cut-off point. The cut-off point for this struggle is a transition. We must organize a transition, and a transition in which we know that we do A, B, C, D, full stop. The transition is over. The problem we faced with NRM, which was a transition that has never ended, is because of not having very clear delineation of where the struggle comes from and where free society begins from. As I have said, a lot of what needs to be done to be a free society, we are already achieving, having free minds. We have fought for people to have free minds. That's what the most important thing. But once now we defeat those with guns, and that is the first step. The first step is we must defeat those with guns so that guns are subordinated to the people of Uganda. And you know the people who are always terrified about us, they said, now there is only 2019 year of action. Year 2019 is coming to an end. Let's see. Now the year is coming to an end. Yes, the first year of action is coming to an end. Action will continue until the regime, the military dictatorship goes. We are in the phase of action. And don't be confused. Action cannot be timed. That it will take 1 month, it may even take 1 day. You wake up and the situation has changed. Don't be confused. Even in war with guns, that's what happens. You first prepare. Make sure you have fighters. The fighter is in the mind. Make sure you have fighters in the mind. The second stage, make sure you have leaders to take fighters to fight. Training. Train the fighters. And you spend much more time preparing. Training. When you are ready, you attack. The attack may take years. It may take one day. So even those who are celebrating that this year is over, well, there are still a number of days. There are still a number of days ahead of us. Every day is a day of action. Every year from this year is a year of action. No turning back until we have got where we are going. Action. And the actions we take, sometimes, you know, the people we are fighting with have never fought this kind of war without guns. The only war they know is to fight with guns. That's what Mr. Museveni knows. Because the power is now ours, we must restructure it, see how to divide it, to use it so that everybody benefits from it. Are we together? That is why we must have another constitution, a democratically made constitution that answers all our needs so that we have equal rights under the law. Are we together? The constitution will give us new institutions, and we must build those institutions, including building the judiciary to become a judiciary of Uganda. So we must identify the source. What has made us sour? We must investigate and get it out. Those who have killed our people must be exposed. Those who have stolen our country dry must be exposed. Then on the basis of knowledge, we can decide what to do with justice and reconciliation. To reconcile the country. We forgive you knowing what you did. And you say, yes, I did it, I am sorry. Say, okay, for reconciliation, maybe we give you 5 kiboko. Or no kiboko.